Susie, did you bring a clip? I understand.
Yeah, and actually, it's actually appropriate to what we're talking about, because I think one of the reasons why so many of the scenes work are because they're true situation comedies. It's really about the situation and the characters. And when the situation's set up in such a way that's going to be a funny situation, and the characters' relationships are already set up, then the scene just works no matter what's happening. And also, for me as a comedian, it's so freeing to work with Larry, because I so trust his comedic instincts. I never have to think about being funny. I just know whatever situation he set up is going to be funny. If it's supposed to be funny, if it's not supposed to be funny, it's not going to be funny. And I could just completely get into character, put on those outfits, get into character, and go with it. So I chose the scene from The Doll.
Let's look at it.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
Where's the head? I know you took the doll's head. Where is it? Where's the fucking head?
I don't know.
The kid is home, hysterical, because her doll, Judy, has been decapitated. Because you two sickos took the head for God knows what reason. Some voodoo shit you're doing. Where is it? Stop scratching your balls and tell me where it is. All right, just get me the fucking head, all right? Get me the fucking head, all right? Both of you, because I've had it, you four-eyed fuck, and you fat piece of shit. Get me the head!
It doesn't get any funnier than that. Good choice. Good
Wrote
choice.
itself.
Bob, I want to ask you. You know, when we met each other you were in your 20s, I think, right?
Yes.
And you were one of these guys who was sort of knew the history of comedy. You knew the Marx Brothers. You did the PBS special on the Marx Brothers.
Marx Brothers, W.C. Fields.
W.C. Fields and Mort Saul.
Right, and Lenny Bruce.
And Lenny Bruce, right, that you won the nominated for. Where do you place Larry in all of these?
Larry, I think, is the illegitimate love child of W.C. Fields and Phil Silvers.
But good choice. When you were a kid, what did you laugh at?
I laughed at Bilko, Phil Silvers.
Yeah, Phil Silvers.
That was definitely my
Right.
favorite
One of your
show
favorites,
of all
right.
time. Yeah.
Right.
And there was nothing was a close second to that.
Larry, when you're writing and we're working this out, there is no like Bilko in your mind or anything. Now you got your own thing going, and you know.
I can't think what's Bilko gonna do.
Larry, you brought a clip as well. Everyone brought a clip. What did you choose?
I was thinking about Larry as kind of the cultural impact of Larry. First of all, I think it's interesting, like W.C. Fields or some of these other people we're talking about that might be sort of we could compare to Larry. I mean, I sort of was thinking today, like it's kind of like Norman Lear and Archie Bunker at the same time, because you can't discount the behind the scenes impact that Larry David has. And my clip, there's two aspects to the clip. One is to illustrate that, because you know, Larry's, as Bob said, a purely instinctive person and really trusts that instinct and follows that instinct wherever it might take him. And he came to me and said, I think I'd like you to direct one of these, you know. And I had sort of not thought about doing that, and he just felt that would be a good idea, and it really sort of changed my life in a sense by doing that. The same thing happened on Seinfeld. I was kind of just rooting around. He said, "Yeah, I think you should do this," you know. And he was right, and he's been right very much, and he's had like kind of probably the most impact on my adult life of virtually anybody because of that. So there's that aspect, the behind the scenes sort of acumen that he has about this stuff, which people don't really know that much about. The clip also illustrates, he was talking about his stand-up and how he used to despise rich people in his stand-up, but I think in some ways he still has that kind of dichotomy, and the clip sort of is about how egalitarian Larry is, that he doesn't judge people based on who they are on the surface. He can get into a fight with Ted Danson or his friends, and he can hang out with Islamic fundamentalists or mentally retarded people, You know, he doesn't judge people on the usual criteria. You know? So this clip is from Trick or Treat, I think, and he wants the rituals to be followed. There are certain rituals. If you play your role and I'll play my role, you know. And as you saw in the first clip package, the girls come to the door and they don't have the costumes on. Well, why should I give you candy if you don't have costumes? You're not playing by the rules, and so I'm not going to play by the rules. The scene we're going to see is later on, after this happens, they egg the house and they toilet paper the house, and he feels that this is a crime, a higher crime maybe than a legal crime. It's some sort of moral crime, like a biblical crime. And so this is him trying to sort of explain this to the police.
Okay, let's look at it.
So they had no costumes.
Right, they had no costumes, and for some reason that really upset him.
Now, you're
so-
sure there was no costumes? I mean, because sometimes they can be very subtle costumes.
No, they weren't subtle at all. There were no costumes. They were just going around from house to house trying to get candy, okay?
Is it possible to find these girls and maybe talk to their parents or...
Well, by your descriptions, dark hair, 20 years old, I mean, you know, there's 10,000 kids that could fit that description. I
It
don't
was
know.
sort of Elvira-ish. She looked like Elvira.
So he was kind of in a little bit of a costume there then, with the Elvira thing.
No, that wasn't a costume. I'm just using Elvira to describe her, that's all. It's just a way to, it's a shorthand.
They knocked on the door, they said trick or treat.
Yeah, they said trick or treat, and
And you had treats.
I was giving out candy all night, but I don't have to give them candy. They don't deserve candy, and I don't deserve this. Bald asshole? That's a hate crime. We're a sect, we're a group. You can't call us bald assholes. What if we were gay? There would be gay asshole? That's a hate crime.
But it says bald assholes, it doesn't say really bald. It's not
Okay, but we
race.
consider ourselves a group of people.
Sir, I'm bald. I'm not offended.
Well, with all due respect, Officer Burt, you are not bald, okay? You have chosen to shave your hair. That's a look that you're cultivating to be fashionable, and we don't really consider you part of the bald community, with all due respect.
Did they threaten you in any way? Did you see weapons of any kind?
No, there was no threat except for the trick threat.
What's the trick threat?
The trick or treat. No treat, trick. It's a threat. How far can you take these
If
tricks?
it was any other night, sir.
Trick or treat, bang, bang.
But it's trick or treat.
Halloween.
We cut the kids a little slack on Halloween. There's kind of a social contract that you enter when you open that door. They say trick or treat. I would advise you give the treat.
Why don't you just give him the candy next time, Larry?
I will not be intimidated, even on Halloween.
Jeff, what clip did you?
I want to show the clip and then talk about it afterwards.
Sure, sure.
Oh, I almost didn't tell you. So last night, about 11:30, I go to the bathroom to, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got the energy for that at 11:30?
I always have the energy. Yeah.
Kanahara.
Kanahara. So I'm thinking about Jenna Jameson, you know? And,
Who's she?
Porn star, way hot. And all of a sudden, she pops out. You know who pops in? You're not gonna believe this. Cheryl. Can you believe that?
My wife?
Cheryl, yeah.
What do you mean? You used...
Yeah, she was there. I couldn't believe it, you know? I just, boom, she was there. You can't control who pops in. She pops in.
She pops in. Well, why didn't you pop her out?
I tried popping her out. She wouldn't pop out.
Well, she insisted on staying?
Not exactly.
I want to be here with you, Jeff.
I couldn't pop her out. I'm not in control of that. Besides, my bench is kind of thin. I don't really have a lot going on there.
Oh, your bench is thin? What is she on your team now?
Well, it's not my team. She popped in.
What the hell are you using my wife for?
I thought you'd be flattered.
Flattered. I'm fucking nauseous.
Well, nauseous? Why'd you be nauseous? It's
you,
What?
my wife. I just don't like the whole idea.
It didn't really happen.
I know, but it's in your mind. Okay,
All right.
do me a favor, okay?
What?
I don't want you using my wife anymore for that. Okay?
I'll never intentionally use your wife for
What do you
that.
mean intentionally?
You can't control who pops in.
Yeah?
You can't.
Okay. Next time she pops in, pick your pants up and get out of the room.
We were talking about Larry's instincts. that was a reshoot because we shot it originally, and Larry, you directed the episode. We shot it at Larry's house, and Larry, I came to pick up Larry when the little boy was doing the magic trick, and Larry comes out of the house, and I said to him, I said, hey, my wife was actually asking me, how are you going to play this? I said, I don't know, I'll figure out when I get there. And the way I chose to do it was, Larry and I are walking to the car and go, oh, by the way, I whacked off to your wife last night. And you did what? I whacked off to your wife last night. And he wanted to know if I defiled her and the whole thing. Now, everybody was screaming with laughter when the take was over and everything. So he put it all together. Larry watched, he goes, you can't say that. You can't say it. We have to play it differently. You can't do that. You can't do that. So we got it together again. He said, let's not make it happier. It's a nice happy thing. You know, you're happy that she was there, and you think I'm going to be happy for you. And that was his instincts, because he watched it. It was something that on its own, not with everything else, was very funny. But, you know, there.
Every year, when we're editing, there'll be a couple of things that just aren't working right. And so we call HBO and beg them for more money, and we reshoot the scene. That was a scene that was reshot because the first one didn't come out the way we wanted it to.
But the difference between the concepts, just that and Seinfeld, is immense. Not just the difference in time, right? Everything that you can say on HBO and cable, it's not just language. It's also
Content.
ideas, right?
Content.
Oh, yeah,
It's
content.
much more content than language, I think.
Yes, right. It's the content, right?
I'm the only real filth mouth on the show. It's really the content.
That's true.
Yeah, I actually try and take a lot of the obscenities out, believe it or not. When I'm watching the show, if I hear too much cursing, I'll take it out, especially from me, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And the nudity. He takes all the nudity out.
Richard.
No, I was just saying, when he said that, he gave me a jaya, which was "fuck you."
Yeah.
You know, so thank you know, you're not a total saint about this.
Yeah.
Let's be fine. I think I had you know, when I was given the task to come up with a favorite one, I had several. And I think this might be this is from the first episode of the first year, I believe.
Yeah, this is the first show we ever did.
The first show.
Yeah.
Then the reason I really love this for myself personally, because number one, I was working with Larry for the first time, and also I think it showed a lot. Again, and I don't mean to bore you with this detail, but it's such a surreal situation for me to work in an acting situation with Larry. That in this particular situation, where he had previously in a movie theater been rude to this really a beautiful date I had, and was putting down a breast and the whole thing, that I had to confront him, which I have tried to do for the better part of my entire life, as he has with me, and he has, and also we shot this at the end of the day, and it was only about 8 miles from my house, but it was rush hour, and I said, why can't I just zoom in and, you know, knock it out in the morning? And it was not that could have changed it, but it was like a heat wave, and it took about 3 hours to go 8 miles, and I was in a bad mood. So I get there, and I just sort of felt like I was visiting Larry, and I was pissed off, and it showed, the one thing that it showed to me, which I love about playing myself in this, is that we can fight, and then we can forget about it in an instant, and because we have a lot in the bank that we've come through for each other as friends, and I think that even in the first episode, this has showed that trait that we have as friends. So that's why I think I chose it.
Let's look at that.
Okay. Bye. What are you looking at me like that for?
Because I've never been married, and I think I'm in love, and I think you might have ruined this for me.
Come on, ruined it. If I did you a favor, by the way.
That's one of the most insensitive things.
I don't think it's insensitive. I think it's sensitive. I think it's sensitive. I do.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
This is a woman who knows 7 languages. She's very sweet. I'm taking the lead. The movie's about to start. Look at me. Can you look at me? Can you respect? I drove down in rush hour. Can you at least look at me? And those seats are like this. She tried, and you went, do you mind?
No.
Can't you move?
No,
and then here's the coup de grace. You look at her breasts.
I didn't
You're
look at her
looking at
breasts.
my girlfriend's
First of all,
breasts.
they're not breasts.
And you don't even know it's my
They're
girlfriend.
not
You saw-
breasts. They're just big chemical balls, okay? They're not breasts.
How do you know they're fake?
I could take a guess.
So maybe they are fake. What's the big deal?
Nothing. Don't call them breasts. They're not breasts.
First of all, I'm getting, I have that irregular heart thing, and this is not a good thing. I'm a
Yeah.
recovering alcoholic.
Yeah.
This is all very bad. for me.
We're doing the litany now. What else is?
Yeah, I have a lot. I can give you the litany.
Finish
Want to
the
know what my
litany?
cholesterol was?
Yeah,
272.
okay,
all right?
all right.
So I don't need this shit, man.
Okay.
I've known her for 6 weeks. We've already had intercourse. She's loving. She speaks 7 languages.
Congratulations on the intercourse.
Let me tell you something, Larry. Listen, Saturday night, do me a favor. I love you, all right?
Yeah.
You know, we have enough good stuff in the bank to get over this. But Saturday night at dinner, can we maybe try to have an apology from you?
First of all, there's no way I can have dinner with you on Saturday night. That's out.
Hold on. Am I hearing this?
I'm not at dinner.
You know, our relationship's at stake
Dinner?
right now.
Huh?
Our relationship's at stake.
Get outta here.
You better call me later on, by sundown.
By sundown? What are you, Gary Cooper? By sundown? Huh?
That's
Yeah.
funny. You know, I'm trying not to laugh, but that's
Yeah,
funny.
okay.
You better call me by sundown.
By sundown? And there's a posse gonna come get me?
That's right.
The structure of the shows are usually such that you know, our 4 stories kind of come together and then everything explodes in Larry's face at the end of the show. And then we go to credits. Every now and then there's a happy ending for Larry. And this is an example of, I think indirectly it's a happy ending for Larry. This is the final scene of, what was it called? The grand opening, the opening night of the restaurant. And there's something else I want to point out is sometimes our slogan for the show, we used to say, no good or bad deed goes unpunished. And sometimes Larry would get screwed because he was kind of nasty to someone. But an equal number of times he would get screwed because he was trying to be helpful to someone. Either way, he gets it in the end. But there are a couple things to set up here. One is that Larry has hired a chef for his restaurant who he has discovered has Tourette syndrome and swears very loudly, involuntarily. But Larry cannot fire him because he believes him to be a Holocaust survivor because he's got a number tattooed on his arm. So he is told, I don't care what happens, we're not firing him, he's a survivor. I am not firing a survivor. So you need to know that. You also need to know that Larry went to a school, a high school, and saw a bunch of kids who had shaved their head in support of a kid who was going through chemotherapy and had lost his hair. And Larry looked at that and had one of the few tender moments on our show when he saw these kids with the shaved heads in solidarity and thought, someday I hope I have the opportunity to do something good like that for other people. So you need to know that. And the third thing you need to know is that earlier in the show, Cheryl had canceled lunch with Susie because she got stuck in the car wash, which you saw in the opening montage, but Susie did not believe the car wash story. So with all that going in, this is the final episode of the grand opening night of the restaurant.
Let's get that water.
Fuckhead, shit-faced, cocksucker, asshole, son of a bitch!
Maybe one day I'll get a chance to do something good for somebody like that.
Scum-sucking motherfucking whore!
Cock! Cock! Chisholm! Grandma! Cock!
Bum. Fuck, turd, fart. Cunt, piss, shit, bugger, and balls!
Damn it! Hell! Crap! Shit!
You goddamn motherfucking bitch! Fuck you, you car wash cunt! I had a dental appointment!
Fellatio, cunnilingus, French kissing. Rim job.
Right. Piss. fuck.
Schmuck. Puss. Like duckish lecker.
Pussy, pig fucker.
Balls.
Boy cock, girl cock, E-I-E-I-O.
talking about Larry with the nuances and trusting his instinct, he actually said to me, "You got you got 2 gram, cut out a grandma and a cock and jism. No, 1 less of each, and you're okay." I remember that, and I did. He was right.
Larry, what's the clip that you?
We've just learned that there's going to be a terrorist attack in Los Angeles, and we're scheduled to hold this fundraiser, and Cheryl's fundraiser, and I kind of want to get the hell out of there. You know.
Okay, we'll take a look at it.
My brother, his best friend, works for the CIA. There's going to be a terrorist attack this weekend in LA.
Wow. Yeah, Larry, I just don't see how we can leave this weekend. I mean, this whole NRDC benefit was my idea. I talked the Browdies into having it at their house. Alanis Morissette is coming to sing. I just know I can't leave town.
Well, maybe, maybe I can go.
And where are you gonna go?
Could go golfing at Pebble Beach. Then at least, one of us would survive.
It just seems like if we're gonna go, we should go together.
Well, not necessarily. Almost seems a little selfish that you would want both of us to perish.
So you'd be fine going on without me?
Well, it would be very difficult at first, and sure, but hopefully I could, at some point, get back some semblance of a life.
Okay. If you feel good about one of us dying and the other one surviving, and you can live with that for the rest of your life, then you should go golf this weekend.
I'll think about it. I just want to say one thing about that clip. Now, that wasn't in the outline at all. In fact, when Wanda left the house, the scene was supposed to be over, but nobody yelled cut. And all of a sudden, we were on the couch, and I realized that I had to get out of this thing. I can't imagine that I actually didn't write this, but it wasn't in the outline. And so that scene was really improvised out of pretty much nothing. And I couldn't, that scene I could not get through. I was laughing so hard.
Sure.
It took, I was like 15 takes to do that. I was laughing so hard.
Fortunately, the coverage was such that both of you were on camera, 2 different cameras, so you could take 10 minutes and laugh, catch your breath, and we'd just keep going. We could cut it together.
But to discover that there is just so exciting.
Yeah, that was
because
exciting.
You don't know it ahead of time.
Yeah, and I knew it as soon as we started talking. I went, oh my God, this is going to be really good. Yeah.
We should say this, you made the comment earlier that occasionally we'll shoot during the day and Larry afterwards will say, that scene I probably should have written, although we can always make sense out of it in the editing room. But more often than not, a scene will play and Larry will say, in a million years, I never could have written that. That could only come out of improvisation. And one great example that you've cited is in Crazy Eyes Kill It, when Chris Williams, who plays Crazy Eyes, actually made up that little rap number.
Yeah, he took out, when we were filming that day, and I started talking to him in the scene, and all of a sudden he takes out this piece of paper. He says, you're right, I want you to listen to my shit. So he takes out this piece of paper and tells me this and reads this rap song that I had written. And I had no idea he was going to do that. And so you get a fresh reaction to that. Yeah.
You know, just for me, all of us here involved in Kurt, it's a great pleasure to have an audience like yourself, so we could hear laughs with the show that we normally don't ever hear. It's just a pleasure here live to be able to hear all that. I want to thank you for being here, and thank you all for a wonderful.